Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. It's our advice podcast. Hell yeah.
That's the name of it. Advice podcast.
Hell yeah. That was our tester name, and then we were like, should we get something more catchy? Should we try something else? Wait, did you see in our Facebook group the not to brag to you guys, but like to be like, oh guys, you can't be in our Facebook group yet because we're still not accepting new members, but this is for everybody. There's a TikTok that someone posted in there of like a girl tie-dyeing, or whoever it was, a person tie-dyeing a shirt, and it came out like a giant penis. Like the tie-dye was a penis, and they were like, this needs to be merged. I was like, I missed it. It was amazing. It was good. So that's just been on my mind. Can you imagine? Like, that's it's subtle, you know? Like,
I love it.
I like it. I feel like some people wouldn't see it, and then other people be like,
who would we get to make this?
That's the question, because I don't know if we could.
It would have to be like limited edition.
We just
make
them
5. Yeah, and there's 2 for us.
And then,
and then 3
for other people
wherever
who live close by, because the post office confuses me. I just need to like.
Well, it's also germ ridden, so I'm not going.
Yes.
I had to go like 2 weeks ago. Worst day of my, well, not worst day, second worst day of quarantine.
So this is an advice show where we give advice. If you guys want to call us for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, should we get into the episode?
Let's do it.
Hi, Megan and Melissa. I'm a big fan of you guys and the podcast, and I thought I would call in to see if I can get your advice on something. So I'm 19 years old now, but ever since around 8th grade, people have started randomly getting angry with me and cutting me off, and when I ask them, they're never able to give me a solid reason why, which I sometimes don't even ask anymore because it's happened several times now. And they just kind of give me the same answers. They just say that I come off as arrogant, stuck up, I need to be the center of attention, I'm spoiled, I'm two-faced, I'm selfish, I'm a bitch, and all of those words that go along with that. I've been running into this a lot more since I have graduated high school and started college and new jobs and like running into new people. It most recently happened last night when my boyfriend's best friends just suddenly started texting him how horrible I am, saying all the things that I mentioned before, and said that they aren't going to hang out with him anymore until he breaks up with me. My boyfriend and I have been dating for about 2 years now, and I honestly don't know what triggered this now. it's a really weird situation, and I don't know how it's going to go or end, but it really seems like it's only going to end in an unhappy way somewhere. Basically, I'm really self-conscious and shy, and I don't talk a lot, and I think that comes off as stuck up to people, even though in my head it's quite the opposite. I'm always trying to act with kindness. I never try to be mean to anyone, and I avoid drama and confrontation, and I am very well aware that I am a people pleaser, so that makes it so much harder when someone dislikes me for no reason. It got so bad that at the end of, or that I left college, my first college, and it just makes me feel like a villain who's full of evil, and people are perceiving it that way, but I just genuinely don't know how, and it's getting like hard to live with myself knowing that I'm that way to people, if that makes sense. I'm starting at a new college this fall, so if you have any help that could help me navigate this tricky situation, also if you have any advice on the boyfriend situation that I had just mentioned before, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much, Megan.
I feel really bad saying this, but the thing is if everybody has been using these same words and saying the same stuff since you were in 8th grade, something's up.
Unless you've got like an evil twin running around somewhere and pretending to be you.
Everything comes back to soap operas.
Yeah.
But that's true. Like it is the same words and the same things. Like friendships end now. Relationships end, friendships end, just like relationships end, and they can end for a multitude of different reasons. But I think if you're coming across what you say you're the same words, the same statements, all of the same stuff, you gotta fucking address that. And I think this is whatever you're in. I mean, you've got good intentions from what you're saying, and that you can rationalize this and be like, well, no, I'm just kind of like quiet, like I am a people pleaser, all of that stuff. It's not registering for other people, and that's an issue. And it's not like, I would say if this was like one person, I'd be like, fuck them. But like, it sucks to say that, like, yes, this is a you issue, and it's going to, it's probably going to follow you into your fucking career. Like you need to adjust all of this. And I would say this might sound weird and you're like, what? I would go to therapy and literally talk about this with a therapist and be like, and maybe it's that you're not necessarily reading social cues and like noticing that kind of stuff and being like quiet. And I understand all of that, but I think especially if you've been dating your boyfriend for 2 years, the reason why that they're saying this now is because they've seen a consistency in your behavior for 2 years. And I think this is, of all of like the friendships that have ended, the fact that this is, like, I will say, like, from all of my like straight dude friends, like, they do not like ever fucking say if they do not like someone's like girlfriend. Like the bros like will not, like Monts is like, no, every time someone breaks up with like their girlfriend or whatever, and we're all like, oh God, we hated them, and they're all like, why didn't you didn't say that? And he's like, no, I would never ever say that. But I think the reason they're doing you kind of a favor in this is like, these are people who've known you for 2 years, and if they're still seeing this and still feeling this, I think this needs to be like it hurts your feelings 100, like, and that's totally like understandable, but I think it needs to be like the kick in your ass to be like, I need to go to therapy and figure out where the disconnect is, because it's a total disconnect, because what you're saying your intention is and how you're perceiving it on your end is like the polar opposite from how they're seeing it. And I think that you just, it's like a love language thing. Like no matter what it's not working, so it has to adjust. And you're not finding people. It's not.
It's happening to multiple people that are in different parts of your life that don't know each other. So you still have the water bottle. So
I lost the cap.
So since it's happening like at different parts of your life, it definitely is a you problem. And the thing that stuck out most to me was it's like consistent of people saying that you're two-faced. So that means that you're acting two different ways around people. And like you said, you're being a people pleaser. So that means that people don't think you're genuine because you're just saying what they want to hear. And that's not what people want.
No.
And if you're saying what one person wants to hear and then what another person wants to hear, then it comes off as you talking behind their back or not being truthful. So that is something that you need to address. Like why, like getting to the root of why you feel the need to change who you are around certain people and please them. I think that's the biggest problem here.
Also,
but I'm not a shrink.
But also, one of the other words you used was spoiled, right? That was one of them. And that is, that to me is such, you can't really, acting spoiled's not a conscious decision. Like, I don't know what the alternative of that is. I think that's, again, social cue, completely unaware thing that like acting spoiled and being spoiled, there's not like a good intention version of that for you. And I think that that's one that you should definitely latch onto. Like some of these, it might feel like, oh, well, no, I'm a people, like the same thing with being like, you're like two-faced and like not genuine. And it's like, oh, well, I'm just trying to like make everyone like me, which is a fault in itself. But then there are terms like spoiled, which is, okay, how have I missed the mark here? Like, cause that's not an intentional thing that you're trying to do. And there's not really a positive, like, intent there. Like it just is like the result of whatever you're doing.
Yeah, because like being spoiled is like bragging about what your parents are saying, because I mean, like by definition I am spoiled, but I've never been accused of being spoiled by someone else because I don't talk
Violet
about
Beauregard
things that happen.
Like it's like it's like like spoiled, like you think of it in the sense of like a rotten fruit. Like that's like it's a gross, like unattractive thing that is not that does spoiled does not equal privileged at all. Like privileged is just like a passive, it's just like a passive fact. But being spoiled is like an entitlement that comes with that and like a bragging. And it might just be like, it truly might just be that you're not great with social cues and that you're not like, and if you're like, if everybody's like celebrating like, oh my God, yay. And you're celebrating like, oh my God, my parents bought me this like new handbag. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited about it. But everybody else was talking about like excited that they got a good grade on their test or that like they're gonna like go on vacation soon. And like it just truly might be that you're not processing it. You're holding these other things in like the same regard, and it comes across because it is really spoiled and it's just a social cue thing. But I would also, this is the other part. If your boyfriend told you this, your boyfriend thinks that there's
truth behind it.
Yeah, and I think that he probably sees a different side of you because that's usually what happens in like long-term relationships. But yeah, he wouldn't tell you if he thought they were full of shit, because also it does put you in a position where he's basically saying, my friends want me to break up with you unless this changes, like, because, and I don't know what to do. And I think if he just wanted to break up with you, he would just break up with you and never tell you this conversation. But I think him telling you is because he sees that he sees what you're doing and he sees how it's coming across and he sees that this is a pattern and a habit and he wants and believes that you can change because he doesn't believe that this is your goal or your intention. And so I would treat that again as like, that's someone who like is thinking pretty highly of you and knowing that like, hey, there is a disconnect. But I would just 100% say therapy. Like, I think people think of therapy as, oh, like mental health, like I am depressed, like I'm anxious, I've like have trauma, like that's why I need to go to therapy. But you can literally go to therapy of being like, I've had like friends who've gone to therapy being like, I don't know why I can't stay in a relationship. Like, I don't have any like childhood like trauma that I like have like I've been sitting with or anything like that. I don't know why I find myself like perpetually single. Like, I don't know why I can't stay in a relationship. I don't know why I feel the need to like move states all the time, or I don't know why I can't like stay happy in a job. Like, it's just an unbiased.
Wow, triggered.
You or me? I was like, I mean, I don't have a job, but like, it's an unbiased third party who can like help you unpack you without any of these other preconceived notions or any of that stuff. They can see the bigger picture of it all. And I think that's what you need to do, because it is a habit, and I really feel for you. Like, leaving college and feeling like isolated from your friends and all of that stuff is really, really, really hard, especially when it's not your goal. And the reason why these friendships are ending is it's because of what you're doing, but you're not seeing it, and you don't think that you're doing it. So I'm sure it feels like maddening, because you're like, what are you talking about? How is this happening? And it's, yeah, it sucks to say that this is on you, but I think it's on you, and you're clearly not like, I mean, maybe you fucking are, and like, I'm just not picking up on this call. Like, you don't sound like a fucking awful person and a terrible person who like is like just fucking awful. I think and that makes me think like, yeah, this can change. Like, this doesn't have to be your forever thing at all. And it can just get in the habit. And two, also because it's happened so often, I think it's more likely to continue happening over and over and over again.
It hasn't stopped, so there's no end point at this point until you figure out what the actual issue is.
Therapy, therapy. Yeah. And even in quarantine, you can, and we have the link always, Psychology Today, if you're in the States, which I think you are. I didn't hear any of Boots. And you can find a therapist, and lots of therapists there are doing, you can have email them, you can call them, and they're doing like FaceTime sessions. You can do BetterHelp, you can do anything. Like, you have all of these options. And so don't wait until we're out of the quarantine. I think because you're starting a new college, this is like the prime opportunity to like get these tools in your pocket and to like break this down and understand why you do what you do before you start college. So you can have a very different outcome and experience with your friends.
Yeah. Ugly.
Well, best of luck. And I would actually I don't say actually, like, wow, surprise. No, I would love an update with this, because I think it's really interesting, and I'm sure other people can probably relate to. I mean, it's a term that's being used in, no offense to her, I mean, whatever, like more serious, like in intent versus impact, and I think a lot of people will relate to this. It also just happens as you get older. I'm gonna stop talking now. Should we go on to the next?
Hey, Megan, Melissa, and potential guests. I'm 25, a Taurus, and my dating life is nothing but interesting. I've literally been on dates, and guys have said they're addicted to cocaine, from a guy ending up coming in his pants from a peck on the lips goodnight. My friends love when I go on dates because they know I'm always going to have a story to tell, and it's gotten to the point that when I go out with my best friend each week for lunch, the bartenders and waiters pull up chairs because they know that I have a crazy dating life and they want to hear the stories. So recently, I met a guy on Tinder, and he's very sweet, not normally my type, but my therapist said that maybe that's a good thing. Because obviously my type has worked so well so far. But besides being a Gemini, there's no red flags. We've been on a couple dates so far, and he's very sweet and very different from anything I'm used to. So he added me on Facebook the other day, and we had a couple mutual friends in common. And he says, "Oh, you know my stepbrother." And I asked who his stepbrother was. Y'all, his stepbrother is my uncle. So I guess my question is it weird to keep talking to him? Because it's only his stepbrother, so they're not technically related, and he's only my uncle by marriage. Like, I'm blood related to my aunt. It's just her husband. But I know it's weird, and I'm also from the South, so I don't want to be the stereotype like, oh yeah, she's dating her family member. That makes sense. But shit, y'all, I deserve a good guy, and I cannot ever seem to catch a break. So yeah, any thoughts or opinions on how to go about this? If you would keep talking to him, or if you do think it would be okay to date him and not weird, how would y'all, go about telling friends and family about that? Yeah. So, love the podcast. Thank you for any advice y'all have. Have a good one. Bye.
I love when people say y'all. It feels like really, I don't know.
I got out of the habit of saying it, so I don't say it as much.
It's warm and fucking fuzzy. Like it just is just like, it feels like cornbread. Like it just feels like sweet tea. Like it feels like I'm on a porch.
2 of my favorite things.
Yeah, it feels like I'm getting a hug.
3 of my favorite things. You just said you hated
No, but
hugs.
it feels like I'm getting a hug from like a sweet, I don't know, but like I don't know, like I would say grandparent, but like my grandparents died when I was really young, so I don't have that. Like, but like a movie grandparent, you know, like where it's like, oh, and you're like, I feel safe here. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think of all the circumstances, didn't we also have a fucking call with like an uncle and like not similar at all, but I'm pretty sure the girl who was fucking. She had like the boyfriend, she had like her ex-boyfriend, and he had like a baby mama, and then there was like she started talking to his uncle. It was the whole thing, but I just feel like we've had uncle.
Oh, yeah.
That was extreme.
You're right.
I think in the scheme of like not blood related relationships, I think this is probably the most fine personally.
This is so far down the line.
Yeah.
Like that you guys are like not related at all, and then you didn't even know that you you had this close relation. So I don't think this is an issue at all.
No, I mean personally, I will say I would not do it, but that's also because I wouldn't go on dates with guys who like used emojis or like I like am insane. Like I was like I'm so fucking picky. And Monts will Monts won't listen to this, but he'll be like, yeah, I won. And I'll be like, I mean, sure, after years. But I think...
Well, you call yourself the chosen pussy, so, I mean, it goes both ways.
Fucking facts. But I think it just depends on... I think, like, it's innocent now, like you're saying, like, whatever. Let's say fucking Christmas rolls around, and it's weird. Then it's fucking weird, and then you can break up. Like, if it's weird then it's weird. But, like, I think it just depends also. Like, did they grow up together? But I would say no. But, like, what's the age difference in, like... But that's, like, I think the age is important because, like, if they grew up together as stepbrothers, then it's weird. Like...
But, like, it's not even like she knew.
No, I think it'll just be
him.
the whole family will be like, like her uncle will be like, what?
Well, as someone from the South, my mom's cousin is married to my dad's brother. They have no relation at all.
Okay, for some reason that doesn't seem as weird to me. I don't know why.
And that's even further. It's for her situation is even further.
I think it's
removed.
just the term uncle in here makes me think of ages, which also makes no sense because I am an aunt and my like half brother's kids are like 3 and 5 years younger than me. Like there's not a huge age gap at all. There's a bigger age gap between me and my... Yeah, they call me Auntie Megan, just to, like, fuck with me. And then I'm like, let's get wasted. Like, I used to be, like, all about that. I'm like, you guys want to get drunk? Like, it's legal here. We're in Aruba. Was it? Who knows? They're all of age now. But I think it just depends on your comfortability and if you like him enough that, like, if there's weird shit with your family that... it outweighs it, you know? Like, it just needs to be, like, is it more harm than it's worth? Like, or do you like him enough and is he super nice and he really cool? Or is there a chance you could find a guy, if your family's going to be weird about it and, like, you feel, like, a little off about it or, like, you feel, like, uncomfortable introducing or talking about, like, the relation, is it, like... Is he so fucking... Is there a guy who is, like, also nice who, like, isn't distantly related to you? Like, it's one of those things that I think when you've gone dating, like, lots of shitty people, then you find someone who's like, oh, he seems, like, really cool. And it's like, oh, but he's distantly related. There are other, like, cool guys, but I truly think, like, play it by ear. Like, just keep dating and talking. And then I think if you get to a fucking holiday and it's weird as shit, then be like, okay, I'm fucking out.
But, you know... We probably won't be having any holidays together anytime soon, so you got time to figure it out. Also, you already talked about this with your therapist, and your therapist said, go for it. So
maybe the therapist didn't know the relations, because she said, like, you should go for, he's not your type, like, go for that. You know? I just want to know what your uncle would say.
He's like her uncle by marriage, too.
Yeah. No, I think the thing, like, I think, again, this is, like, the most not, it's so distantly related, but it also just so depends on your family dynamic and if it would be weird. Yeah. And if it would be weird and you like him, if you like him more, then it would be weird, then great. But if it's, like, weirder than you like, more than you like him, then fucking be done. But
yeah,
you don't have to think about that for a while. But also it is, I like the Southern stereotype. Like, I don't want it to be like I'm marrying someone in my family.
It's so far removed. Yeah. It's like,
and I mean, shit, guys.
On both sides, they're not related at all.
And
there's no blood relation, I should say.
We've had the fucking my stepbrother call, all of that shit. So you're really in the clear here. Should we go to the next?
Hi, hi Megan. Oh my god, okay, this is really crazy. But I just wanted to call in because I had like really good friends, I thought, for a long time. And then since the whole Black Lives Matter thing has been going on, they just haven't been there at all. And I tried to open up and like talk to them about it and be like, why aren't you posting anything? Why aren't you showing your support or anything? And I told them how much it was hurting me, and they just seemed to not care about it. And it really hurt. So I kept trying, and now it's gotten to the point where I just think I need to cut them off. I don't know if I should like be telling them why, or maybe they just don't understand, or should I be educating them more than I thought I was already? Because, I'm a Black woman, by the way. If I didn't already say that, I'm a Scorpio too. And one of them's Leo and the other one's Capricorn, and I really just don't know what to do, because I really wanted to keep them in my life, and I know now that I don't know if that's a possibility, because they just seem like they don't care. And I don't know if that's the truth, because when I said it was hurting me, they felt bad, but it's not. You should do something about that right then. But I don't know. So I just want your guys' opinions on this, because I don't know what to do, and I'm hoping you guys do.
First of all, it's not your job to educate people. Second, the Black Lives Matter movement has been going on since 2013. It's not new. So it's not something like that is brand new to the point where they're surprised by what's going on.
The name in itself,
right now,
like Black, you don't have to unpack anything.
Yeah, was what I was going to get to next. Like, it's nothing that should be questioned, because it's just Black Lives Matter. Like, it's literally right there. Like, there's nothing more that you need to understand about that. And they don't care about you. Why would you want to be friends with somebody that doesn't give a shit about you?
Yeah.
At all.
It's
end it, throw them away.
Throw them the fuck away. It's so, I like can't even imagine how fucking like probably surprising it also feels, because you didn't say that you had these like suspicions about them, and it again, like you're saying, it's such a fucking given. Like in Michael Che's stand up, and he like talked about it. He's like, we're just asking to matter. Like, we're not like, he's like, I'm not asking, like, it's not like gay rights movement where we're like, give us equal rights. He's
minimum.
Like, I just need to matter. And like that, and it's something that is so, and it should be so, it's just a fucking fact, and it's so obvious. And I don't want to say that it's passive, because like the movement in itself isn't passive, but the feeling is passive. You either think it or you don't, and it's not, oh, hold on, let me think about it. Like, let me decide if I think that Black Lives Matter or not. Like, give me a couple weeks to like sit on it before I come to my conclusion. And I think it must feel surprising to you, because you do sound surprised that this is their reaction to it. And I cut them the fuck off. Like, cut them the fuck off, because they don't care. And it means that, and it sucks to say that it means that they never really did. And it's not, it's it's deplorable and it's disgusting, and it's not something that you should take from anyone, let alone people who you've like loved and trusted and cared about. Like those are the people more than anyone who should be caring about you and thinking of you and supporting you. And they're not even saying that you matter. And that's like the most fucked up thing in the fucking world. And drop kick them, curb stomp them, or I'll do it for you. You don't have to do it. I'll do it fucking for you. Let me curb stomp all of them. Like, it's just, oh, I hate them. I hate them for you. And it's fucked. And I think it's, we treat we've talked about this before, but treat also like the friendship breakups like a breakup. Like really like give yourself that like time and like allow yourself to like feel like it's like a real fucking breakup, and like get some like comfort food and like sit in bed and like fucking cry or do whatever you need to do, or like call your like family and FaceTime with like people who you know you really care about, but it's treat it like a loss, because it is a fucking loss. And it's, I mean, they're the ones who are losing out on you in their lives. And that's like the actual real travesty of like the losing of the friendships. But it sucks. It fully fucking sucks. Like I can't even imagine losing a group of friends and then losing a group of friends for this reason. Trash people. They're trash fucking people.
You can also DM me if you want to talk. That's it. That's not an invitation for everybody else. So.
You're also more than welcome to DM me. But okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. Okay, guys, we are back from our break, and we're getting to the rest of our calls.
Hi, I'm 26, and I have a family-related question. I recently found out that my parents are divorcing, and my dad is moving out. That's been really hard for me to accept, but they really aren't compatible. Something that is really nerve-wracking for me is that my mom might end up wanting to move in with me. She's really reliant on my dad, and I don't think she would want to live alone in our childhood home or be able to maintain the yard, all of that. I have a younger brother, but he was with his coworker roommates, and I don't even think she would ask him. My mom is really hypercritical of me. She's a neat freak. She struggles with anxiety and depression, and so do I. And moving out was really good for my mental health compared to living with my family. I don't know if I can deal with her uptight personality and her criticisms of me, as well as her bringing up issues with my dad. She already does it over the phone, and that's just TMI and, like, frustrating for me, so I can't imagine, like, living in that. She just has such a different personality from me, and even though I love her, we just butt heads too much. I also work nights, and living alone really helps me maintain my sleep schedule without the distraction of someone else, which is why my boyfriend of 2 years isn't even up with me. She already asked about moving in with me. How can I decline without sounding rude or starting a fight?
She doesn't even want to live with him.
I mean, this is tough. I mean, you can't live with her. And I think, like, starting a fight or, like, hurting her feelings and all of that stuff is not your goal, and you're not being an asshole, and it's a very reasonable request. And if she responds in a negative way to a very reasonable request, her feelings aren't on you. Like, that's not... That's it. It's so not about you. And like you've said, like, moving out's been great for your mental health, and it's, as my therapist says, like, it's like we have like self-preservation techniques, and this has been one of yours, is like having this like space away from her, and her reaction and response to this is gonna be whatever it is. And you even wanting to like have it not start a fight and all of that stuff means that you're not gonna go about it and be like, fuck you, mom, like, I don't want to fucking live with you, you fucking suck. And I think what you have to say is, if she brings it up again, I wouldn't bring it up, I would just ignore it. And then if she brings it up again and asks about it, and be like, I love you, I care about you so much, but for me, it's really important for me to live alone, and I've really enjoyed that, and it's been really great for my mental health. And no matter how much I care about you and how much I love you, I need this for me, and that's the end of it.
And I want to preserve our relationship as mother and daughter. I really love you, but for both of us, this wouldn't be a good thing, because I think that down the line we might end up resenting each other, and I just want to preserve our relationship as it is now.
Yeah, and I think if she's mad, she's mad, and
and she'll eventually get over it. But she's an adult woman as well, and she shouldn't be moving in with her daughter when that's not what her daughter wants. It'd be one thing, like, if you're like, yeah, you can come, but that's not what you want. So this is a new chapter in her life. She has a house, and I understand if she doesn't want to live there, but she can sell it if that's what she wants to do, and use that money to maybe get herself like a nice condo or something, and use it as a transition to get used to the next chapter in her life.
Yeah. Also, you've got your brother, and you don't think that she's going to ask your brother, if she then also doesn't ever ask your brother after you say no and tries to stay upset with you, it's just not, it's just so truly not fair to you. And I understand, like, the fear she must have of, like, being alone and having this huge transition period. But that, like you said, like, she needs this. Like, I think as much as you need to live alone, I think she does too. I think that would be really, and I mean, her mental health wise, I obviously don't know her, but, like, yeah, therapy is a great thing, and, like, going to all of that stuff,
especially after going through a divorce with somebody you've been married to for years. Like, this is a new point in your life. I think she definitely needs therapy, because I mean, you said that it's like your parent, so you didn't say how old you are, but I'm guessing you're in your 20s. So she's been with this same person for at least 20 years. So she doesn't know what it's like not to have people with her. So she definitely needs therapy.
Yeah. And I think it'll be an eye-opening, like, there's fucking all those rom-coms about this, of, like, first time being single, and, like, finding her new hobbies and doing stuff for her. And I think moving in with either of her kids, her role still is mom. Like, she went from being, she was mom, she was wife, then she was mom, or whatever the time period was. And then you guys moved out, and then she was wife. And then I think her instinct reaction is to go back to what she knows, which is being a mom. And she will always be your mom, but she needs, think of it as much as you're doing it for you, you're also doing it for her. Like, she needs to learn how to be her own independent person again, and find the hobbies that she likes and all of that stuff. And I think, like you said, it will preserve your relationship. So it's can be like, and even, like, if you feel like you need to kind of have, like, a middle ground with her, of being like, I know that this will really put harm on our relationship in the long term, but, like, I want to be there for you through all of this. So, like, let's, like, have, like, a family, like, lunch every Wednesday or every other Wednesday or once a month, and, like, creating these, like, traditions and, like, things that she can put on her calendar and look forward to, so there is some routine and some family as she's going through all of this. But it's also, as much as, like, she's going through a divorce, and yes, you're, like, grown and adult, it's also your parents going through a divorce too. So she can't put that, I mean, she can, but she shouldn't be putting that responsibility to care for and be there for her on you, because you're also it's also your dad. Like, you're also processing all of this as someone who's also gone through divorce. And I think people think that divorce, the effects of divorce or whatever, only affect, like, the parents and then young kids, but even adult kids, like, that's still changing your routine, your relationship with your parents. And you need to look out for you. And I think in the situation, it also in turn will end up looking out for her too. And talk to your brother about it and get on the same page. And so you guys both know, like, hey, not going to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe offer to help her, like, redecorate a condo, or be like, I'll help you move out. Like, I'll help you do all of this kind of stuff. And, like, I can help you. I can assist in you and be there with you in finding your independence.
Right.
But I'm sorry. That's definitely not, like, a fun thing to go through. Because it does sound like you're reconciling and like realizing that they're not the best for each other, but it does still sounds like it hurts. So I am sorry for you too. Should we go on to the next?
Hi, everyone. So I'm calling in about a situation that has been developing over the course of a couple of months. I am the maid of honor for my friend of 12 years in her wedding that was supposed to occur at the end of May. Because of COVID, she decided to push back her wedding to the end of July. A little more background to the story is that during the past few months, I moved to New York for a job and have been in quarantine since and have been practicing proper procedures. The bride, her family members, and the rest of the wedding party all live in a different state where the state of emergency has been handled differently. She has officially decided to keep the wedding date for her large 200-person wedding, and when I asked about safety procedures, she said that the venue okayed the fact that there doesn't need to be any social distancing, no face masks, and a large dance floor is allowed. I expressed my concern for the safety of others, and we shared different viewpoints on the matter. I understand she has been looking forward to this moment, but I think she should have rescheduled since the availability to keep their deposits in like a date for 2021 is available. I want to wear a face mask during the ceremony and reception and pretty much the entire event, but she previously expressed how she doesn't want people to ruin her wedding photos. I am unsure what to do because I don't want to be the odd person out and the only one wearing a face mask, but I question the rationality others have in this situation. Additionally, she is traveling to the South right before her wedding, which makes me 10 times more nervous. Any advice on the situation would be appreciated. I have a feeling if I further discuss it with her, it would just kind of turn into a heated argument. I'm not trying to take away from her experience in her day, but she thinks I'm being dramatic about this pandemic, and I find her irresponsible. I don't want to lose a friend, but I'm kind of in this hard position to be in, and I don't see a lot of options. In case you wanted to know, I am a 24-year-old Leo, and she is a Capricorn. Okay, thanks. Bye.
You know, face mask. She said that face masks would like ruin her wedding. You know what else would ruin her wedding? Death. What the fuck is this? Like, hell, like, no. Just no fucking no.
This bitch is not only so dumb, like the fucking statement you said when you
Not
were
just
like,
her, like the whole family.
But when you said something like, I'm just concerned for like the well-being of others, and we seem to disagree on that. I'm like, oh, so she's like, no, I'm not. Like, they don't think about other people. This girl's a fucking idiot. And not only should you not go to the fucking wedding, do not be fucking friends with this dipshit.
No, she doesn't care. She's being so selfish. So fucking selfish. Like, this is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard. And you said that everybody's coming from a different state, so everybody's just gonna be together, sharing germs from all these other
fucking
states,
bumping
and then
grinding.
taking it back. Yeah, and then taking it back.
It is the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. Like, legitimately.
This is so
and
dumb.
Here's the thing. This is so dumb on such a huge scale. This is gonna, you know who's gonna, this is gonna be on fucking John Oliver. Like, this is like,
yes.
This is like, you don't want this to ruin, like, she's like, oh, I don't want this to ruin my wedding photos. I fucking guarantee you, if you go to this goddamn wedding, you will then see on late night TV 2 weeks later when 75 people in the first week fucking test positive and they get these fucking wedding photos back. Even if you're wearing a face mask. First of all, if you're wearing a face mask, you'll be highlighted more than everyone. This is going to end, first of all, this is going to end in preventable deaths. But also it is going to end in like the most fucking public roasting of all fucking time. Like, of all fucking time. And she's such a fucking idiot. And everybody involved is such a fucking idiot. And also, like, I know people who've rescheduled weddings. Also, here's what I'll say. I know people who, like, did not want to reschedule their weddings, that were like holding out to the last fucking minute. And I was like, here's the thing. I'm not fucking going. I don't care what you think about this virus. I don't care that you think it's a big fucking deal. And those people are still not, they rescheduled their wedding till the next year. Multiple people.
I feel like, I don't know where you guys are. You're in New York, but I don't know where this wedding is happening. But like 2 days ago, Texas like made it a requirement for everybody to wear masks, and they're going back on a lot of things that they said. So I feel like by the time this episode comes out, they won't be able to do this wedding. It'll get taken back. But still, the rationale, if this wedding is happening, do not fucking go. I don't care about your 12-year relationship as friends.
Because she doesn't care.
She doesn't care. So just be like, look, I love you, but this is completely irresponsible, and I'm not putting my life on the line for you for a couple hours of wedded bliss for you when you can. If like a wedding, I understand the wedding. I understand having like it's a big party for everybody. But like if you just want to, if the point of a wedding is to get married, and if she wants to be married to this person, then they can just go get married. They don't have to have a big ceremony. I've seen people like do the weddings where the bride and groom get married, and then the minister is far away conducting the ceremony, and then like their parties are just driving by in the cars and honking horns, and that's their wedding. If that's what she clearly just does, it's not about the marriage, it's about the party,
and it's about,
and she can put the party off.
The pandemic, like she's choosing to not, like she's been given the option to put this off without like a financial, like you're saying that like she's been given this, and she doesn't believe, she thinks that it's an overreaction, so she is making these fucking people like her have made this pandemic a political statement, and she is choosing this to be her political statement to say, hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you. I don't believe any of this shit. This is literally like her inviting people to come to her wedding that is peanut themed and being like, you got a peanut allergy? I don't give a shit. Like, it is like being like, it is the most reckless thing ever. Or being like, hey guys, I'm having a wedding and it's going to be, we're going to be free swimming with great white sharks. So everybody needs to come, and like, you have to come. It's going to be great. Like,
and we're going to throw raw meat into the ocean.
And there's 200 people. And it's just insane. And she's not only is she dumb, and don't be friends with dumb people, because dumb people will put you in really shitty situations, and also they like fucking suck, and like we need to eradicate them from the earth, or we can educate them, but like I'm not that patient. Other people can if they want to do that, but like she's so fucking dumb. She doesn't give a shit about, not only does she doesn't give a shit about your friendship, she doesn't give a shit about your health. She doesn't give a shit about her grandparents' health,
she doesn't give a shit about her own health
at all. And that is someone who is like, that's dangerous. That's someone who you should not want to be friends with. And regardless of, once this pandemic is over, you've been friends with her for 12 years. Well, like, oh wow, did you get hit on the head with a fucking anvil, you dumb fucking bitch? Not you, her. Like, at what point did she become this person? And it fucking sucks, because I think we're in it's revealing some really fucking nasty fucking things about people, and maybe we never would have known this stuff before. Maybe something else would have happened down the line that you'll see this side of people. But I truly think it is a fucking, like, seeing this side of people is terrifying, but it's also a fucking blessing to be like, oh, cool, get the fuck out of my life. You are a liability to yourself and others. Like, she is actual garbage. Fucking bitch.
She's just as bad as these people that are throwing these pandemic COVID parties. Where, have you heard about this, where they're like putting money in a pot, and then the first person that gets it gets the money in the pot? Like, they're purposely trying to get COVID-19.
How much money? Is it enough to cover your health insurance bills?
No, exactly. Not even close. Like, it doesn't make sense. And we're not even talking about like the short-term effects. Like, this shit has a long-term effect on your lungs. People are stupid.
And also, here's the thing. If like she wants to be like, wow, everyone's overreacting, I would rather, like, even if we had no scientific evidence backing the seriousness of this, which we do, but even if we didn't, if someone said it was like a 50-50 chance that this is going to be really dangerous or really not, like, it's like 6 months ago someone said that, like, okay, if you knew that there's a 50-50 chance that there's going to be like a deadly pandemic that like hits the world, and you need to drastically change these things in your life, but there's a 50% chance it'll happen, and people will be like, well, then what happens when like we all overreacted? I'm like, I would rather have gone above and beyond and been like, oh cool, we dodged the fucking meteor that didn't hit Earth,
like the rest of the fucking
literally, like, that's
world.
Fucking great. Like, if this if this like 6 months ago was this big fucking conspiracy theory, and then it hit, and then it was like, it's like the fucking Mayan calendar shit, and then nothing happened, I'm not pissed. I'm fucking glad. And anyone who says like, oh, well, I would just be fucking pissed. I'm like, I'm sorry. Do you think about anybody other than yourself and you're upset that you like wasted time and energy? Like, it is so unbelievably fucking dumb. Like, so unbelievably fucking dumb. This is, no. Like, cut her the fuck out. Cut everyone who's attending, cut all of that shit out. Like, she is an absolute idiot. And then once you cut her out of your life, you feel free to like slide into my DMs, give me her handle, let me know what her wedding photographer's name is, and I'll like, you know, we can send these pics around, make sure they get to the right people. Yeah, she needs to be publicly shamed, and she will be.
It's gonna make the news regardless. It has to. So today we have a update to a Don't Blame Them call. So this is unique. It's different. We've never done this before. So the original call was in season 2, episode 25 with Leo. Then the person that was calling in to give advice to that person was in season 3, episode 6. And it's about a mama's boy. And so we've got a update to the Don't Blame Them with another twist.
I'm really excited.
Ready?
Because I not that I don't remember this, but it's harder for me to remember Don't Blame Them than these, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hey, Megan. I just wanted to call in to provide a progress update from a very old episode. Season 2, episode 25, where the girl was dating Mama's boy. My girlfriend actually called in to provide advice from season 3, episode 6. So she called in to give advice and talk to the person about the Mama's boy situation. So, shocker, I'm the guy in that story for my girlfriend who called in for advice. And basically what happened was that I had to, first of all, fix what was wrong with me. I had a lot of issues to work through and a lot of stuff that was going on. So I had to learn to set proper boundaries with my mom first and work on that with her. And even when she broke those boundaries, I would have to reinforce them and say, hey, that wasn't cool. This is what you should do. So yeah, and the other part of it is, like I was saying, I think just a lot of it was on me and a lot of it was how I viewed my relationship and how I viewed the things, because I have a problem I used to have a problem about talking about people negatively to each other. So like, if I was with my mom, I would talk negatively about my girlfriend. If I was with my girlfriend, I would talk negatively about my mom, leaving this kind of space between them where they just didn't like each other because of me. So that was another thing I had to fix, was my mental state and my mental awareness of that whole situation. And once I did that, then and I had the boundaries set with my mom, I basically spoke to my girlfriend and said, hey, you need to give my mom a chance. And I did the same thing with my mom. I was owned up to it and said, a lot of the stuff you guys feel about it is my fault. So I just wanted to let you know that things are going really well now, and a lot of hard work went into it. But yeah, so I appreciate it. I was just letting you know that me and my girlfriend both watch your podcast together on YouTube. So thank you, and see you later. Talk to you.
Oh my god, I'm dead. I love that.
It's an evolved dude.
Wow. No, that's great. I mean,
yeah.
My only note is saying that. No, I'm kidding. I think that's awesome. I wonder what it's like for people, and like we know people who like listen to it with their partners, like watch with their partners. Like, I'm curious if it does bring up like any conversation, like if like the topics will bring up like a conversation and be like, oh wow, like what would you do in this situation? Or if you guys like relate to something and you're like, ooh shit, like this feels like a weird one to listen to, like sitting next to like my partner. But I think this is like great, and
I love it.
I'm fucking stoked. I'm like glad you guys are still together, and it's true.
In the Don't Blame Them call, she had said they had been dating for 9 years, and that they had been her boyfriend and his mom were like enmeshed in an unhealthy codependent relationship, and that he had started to go to therapy. So this is the after of therapy.
I fucking love it. But it's true, like what he said, it's like it's it can be really hard because I've also been on the other side of it, of like someone where it's like, why the fuck are you fucking sharing everything with this other person? And it can feel so about you. But like he said, he's like, no, it was like a me issue. And it usually does translate into other parts of your life and like oversharing other people's things just in general. But it's especially really hard in a relationship. But fuck yeah, fucking amazing. Fantastic. You know what we need? We need someone to call in from like a girl who's called in about like how her like boyfriend, like something about like something sexual. I would die. Like, can we get the guy who broke his dick, who ripped his dick? I would love if he called in and was like, let me break it down for you. And he can explain
or even the ones that are like we've gotten so many people like thanking us for the blowjob tips.
I would love
like,
if we got
if
that.
the boyfriend
like an audio review of like, thank you so much. Yeah. Great blowjob, 10 out of 10. Love it. Big fan. Like, I would die. I would fucking love that. Ugh.
But thank you so much for calling. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
We haven't had that type of perspective before.
No, that's like it's and it's also because it's such a common call we've gotten for so long. And the great thing about Don't Blame Them, I mean, there's lots of great things about podcasts, but is people giving their own experience. And yeah, we've never had like the other side of it. It's always been like with that, like the girls have been like, oh yeah, my boyfriend, like him and his mom, like I've had that relationship and then it's gotten better and blah blah blah, and then him being like, yeah, this is how I did it. Fuck yeah. Well, guys, I hope you like this episode. If you did, please leave us a review on the podcast app. And if you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. International listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. My book is out. My presets are for sale. If you want to follow us on social, we have the podcast, Don't Blah Meme Pod, and then our individual socials. Check them out. And you want to promo one of your other many podcasts?
Let me promo Jocelyn and Lily's show.
Who are those
Go
bitches?
check it out. It's called Overshare. It was a YouTube show for the first season, and now it's been converted into, which Megan was on an episode. Now it is a podcast as well. So please go check it out. It's them. It's like extended story times about specific subjects that them and sometimes a guest share stories. What'd you share on your episode? Do you remember?
I think we talked about I don't remember if we did like specific story, but like I think it was more just like overshare topics. And one of them was like embarrassing like things that like we did as like, or like things that we were into as a kid. And I, talked about fanfic, I think I talked about like the couple of times I went LARPing. I was into like a lot of weird fucking shit.
I have not heard that, so I will come back. No, I'll circle back. We'll circle back later at a later date.
It's really not that interesting.
It sounds fucking weird as shit. I don't care about it being interesting. I just want to hear the weirdness.
And I was like, I'll go. Fucking Galadriel? Who? For sure. I'm into it. Is she pretty?
Yeah. So please go check it out on the podcast app. Like, subscribe, leave a review. It's fun. It's a fun time. The episodes that are probably coming out around this time are with Kelsey Dara,
love her,
friend of this show, and Mega Batoon, who's also been on this show. So
we share the same name.
No H in hers.
True, it's too short without an H. Okay, guys, we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Don't Blame Me is a production by me, executive produced by Melisa D. Monts, edited by Katrina Henning, and music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go Network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go Network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.